time. So it is 8:30, 8:24. I'm supposed to check in by 8:45. But it also just said lab, so I'm hoping it's the oncology clinic lab. They didn't really specify, I suppose, because they also have a lab downstairs. So I'm going to go check in oncology and hope that it's up there, because I prefer to do that. They know what they're doing. They get me in and out. So that's this morning. Up early, up and about, getting stuff done. 8:30. Here we go. Hoop-de-doo. All said and done. I forgot to check the time. Blood work's done. Just got a little band-aid on. It all went well. Woohoo! All finished with blood work. Woohoo! I just have a nice little band-aid. Can't even see it. Got my band-aid on. Everything went well. Blood flow return was good. No problems. So that's all good. Just like going in and thinking, oh yeah, it's a little cool out here. My arms will be cold. And I thought, I don't even have to worry about, no blood flow when my arms are having to warm up my veins because I've got the port. So, once again, whoever invented that, I love them. That is an awesome thing to have. So that's it for now. Now I go home and make some breakfast and hopefully record a video. So I have chicken and like fettuccine noodles on my list for today. So that's what I'll be up to. Goodness gracious. Like these scans aren't nerve-wracking enough. I just received a call from the scheduling office regarding confirming my appointment for tomorrow, which I let go to voicemail because I was kind of thought it might be that number, but I'm like, yeah, if it is, I'll go to voicemail and I'll just see what they're saying. I figured they'd give me instructions or whatever, but yeah. So confirming the appointment and then saying that I should drink 32 ounces of water before coming, and then to make sure I don't eat 3 hours, previous to going there, which is not a problem because my appointment is at 8 in the morning. I have to be there at 7:45. So it's kind of like, yeah, I will just, get up, get myself ready and go. I had to wear loose clothing with no metal, which that one I remembered. But again, it's like, I've had these scans for, is this my 5th one? And the instructions are always different. How? In 2 years, the procedures don't change that much, even in 6 months. But it's like, I've had different instructions like for every single scan. So I called back to confirm. I was like, okay, am I going to have to drink the liquid contrast? Because usually I do. And if you're wanting me to drink 32 ounces of water first and then come in and drink another 24 ounces of water, I'm like, that's not going to happen. And so the gal checked my instructions or whatever and said, oh yeah. She goes, yeah, you're supposed to have liquid contrast. So she goes, well, just, try to drink a cup of water before coming in. So she says, don't worry about it. I'm like, okay, phew, that's good. But, oy. It's kind of good that I, kind of know what's going on. That's like with doing my port today. The gal was kind of a little confused. She was very good. She, checked me in and everything and then started getting the supplies for blood draw and asked me which arm I wanted. And I said, well, I have a port. And she was like, oh, you have a port. Well, it's interesting. It's not in the notes. I would think that, they should have it in the notes. And she was just like surprised. But in the meantime, she's just grabbing all the supplies for the, she just went with the flow. That was awesome. Did my blood draw. She was very good at it. This was a different gal. She was filling in for the main gal. And yeah, and she did all the blood draw and did all that. And then she started taping down the needle to my chest. And I was like, oh, well, not the needle, well, the needle port, the needle part and then the tubing. And I told her, I'm like, oh, I don't need it taped down. I'm not seeing the doctor today. And she was like, oh, look at you. It's like, it's so nice, having somebody know the procedure of what's going on or something. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, I'll be seeing the doctor next week, but I won't be having blood next week. So just right now, this was just the blood draw to check the levels for making sure I'm okay for the CT scan tomorrow. But in any case, that's the thing too. Okay, having this be my, whatever CT scan that I know the procedure, thank goodness, because the first one I was so super nervous, so now that I kind of know how it goes, but it's like then I keep getting different instructions. Like, wait a minute, don't I have to drink stuff? Because last time, it was the last time or the time before, think it was the time before, because I think Wayne went with me for that one. And I was told, I asked, I said, do I have to drink liquid contrast? And they said no. And then I got there and they're like, okay, here, drink these 2 bottles. And I'm like, really? I asked on the phone whether I was going to be drinking. And they said no. And she was like, oh, next time when you call in, like, make sure that you ask for the CT text or something or other. I'm like, well, like the schedulers are really going to be like, oh, for that question, yeah, let me get the text. Like, no, they're going to want to answer it and not bother you guys and whatever. But so I thought, well, same. I'll confirm, and see what they say. And I probably wasn't going to drink that much water anyways, just because at least I can go to the bathroom. I don't have to hold it. But even still. So, oof. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. It's CT scan time. It is 7:30 in the morning. I'm supposed to be here by 1:45. I was hoping to get here by 7:30, knowing that I will be drinking contrast here. They usually want you here a half an hour before your appointment, so you have time to drink. This should still be enough time. Anyways, I'm tired. Woke up at 6:15. I'm like, I see a nap in my future. But we shall see. I also haven't exercised in the last 2 days and I'm missing it, so I think when I get home I will get some exercise in, because that should also help flush the dye through my system. So that is the plan at the moment. So let's go have my little radioactive cocktail. Alrighty, another CT scan in the books. Woo! So although once again, I called to confirm the instructions for what was supposed to happen, and I was told something, I guess I was told wrong. Again, so like I said, this is the second time. I was told to drink 32 ounces of water before coming, and so I called to confirm whether I was going to be drinking contrast or not. And I was told, well, yes, I would be drinking contrast. And I said, okay, well then I'm not going to drink 32 ounces of water, because then I have to drink another like 24 ounces here, and it's actually, it would even be more. I'm like, that's just not going to happen. My bladder can't hold up. I can't drink that much. I'm just, as I've explained before in other videos, I'm not a big drinker. And it's like, well, if I put maybe some liquid IV in there or some flavoring, sometimes I can drink a little more. It works okay, but just plain water, I get waterlogged, man. I get that full feeling. It gets all the way up to the, the top of my tummy, and then I'm like, okay, now I'm at the point now I may be thrown up. So I get here, and the receptionist, as I check in, she was all like, and so did you drink your water? And I said, well, no, because I called back to confirm and was told I was going to be drinking contrast, so, that's going to be enough for me. And she was like, oh, well, I was the one that called and left you the message, and I'm like, okay, yeah, well, I called back and I talked to somebody else just because. And again, this is like my, I haven't figured it out, 4th or 5th, because this is my 3rd CT scan here, and I had one at the hospital. So I think it's my 4th CT scan, and I said it's always different. So she was like, well, okay. I did drink like 8 ounces before I left the house, just because it was morning and I was kind of hungry. I'm like, all right, I'll have some water because I can. So anyways, then the tech comes and brings me back, Leslie, who I've also had all 3 times here, which is awesome that she's still here. And she asked, she goes, well, did you drink your water? And I said, well, no, because I called to confirm that I'd be drinking contrast. And she goes, oh, well, I see in the instructions here that you were supposed to have drank 32 ounces of water. And I said, well, yeah, that's what I was told. But then I called to confirm. And she was like, oh, okay, well, let me double check your file. In the meantime, she's like, do you want me to access your port or go in your vein? And I said, well, port, please. And she goes, okay, well, then put a gown on. We'll have you put a gown on. Because she had asked her, she's like, are you wearing a bra? Are you what? And I'm like, nope. And she goes, okay, well, but to access the port, they prefer to have a gown on. And so I was like, yep, okay, that's fine. She's like, then just come on out. So I did. I got the gown on, I came and sat out, she was sitting there, and she goes, okay, so here I have a bottle of water for you. She goes, you don't need contrast today. I said, how come the directions are always different? Because this is, like I said, my 4th scan, and the directions are always different. And she said, well, it all depends. So there are different instructions, depending on where you're at. So she goes, you're not having any new symptoms? And I said, well, no. She goes, okay, well then water is considered like a contrast type of thing. She goes, the water will fill up your stomach, and it does kind of fill up the intestines and stuff like that. So it works. That does too. That's an interesting door. Somebody just parked next to me, and it's like a DeLorean type door. The door actually lifted up from the side. So I saw something on the top, and I'm like, okay, what happened on the top? Like, it looked like a car top carrier. Well, it was the black window. The door had lifted up. Very interesting. I've never seen that before in person. But anyways, so yeah, so just plain water. So she brought me a bottle of 16 ounces of just water. She needed me to drink that then beforehand. Because I said to him, like, yeah, I know, usually with drinking contrast, I'm like, my appointment was only for 15, to show up 15 minutes before. And I'm like, well, if I'm drinking contrast, you usually want me here half an hour before. And she said, yeah, usually we give it 45 minutes for the contrast to get in you and get through, again, all the organs and stuff. And she goes, but if you're not within 6 months of surgery, which I guess I was last time because it was 6 months ago. And it's been a year and a half-ish. Well, it would have been just out of 6 months. But I guess within 6 months of surgery, they want you to have the oral contrast along with the IV. And yeah, I guess if you're having any symptoms or anything. So again, good to know. Why the instructions have changed, why whatever. So hopefully again, this will be the instructions going forward, that I will just be able to drink water. So I got the 16 ounces down in like the 10 minutes. I got down about that much, and I'm like, oh, I'm feeling that full feeling. I'm like, I don't know if I can drink anymore. I'm like, I had the tie from the gown up in my throat. I'm like pulling that away. I'm like, ah. But I did it. I drank it all, and yeah, and she got me in there. Access the port, which she, again, she's like, yeah, I'm glad that we can do this now. And even still, I think she poked me once and didn't get it. She had to poke me again. And it's like, well, because it was accessed yesterday too, it still didn't really hurt. It hurt just, it hurt a tad, but again, still not any worse than going in my arm. In fact, in reality, if they had to poke me twice in the arm, change arms. If they had to poke me twice in the arm, that would have hurt more than poking twice in the port. So that worked fine. The scan part goes fine. They do the 2 pictures. Yeah, they had me laying there. Then I had to hold my breath, and they brought me out, and then they had me hold my breath, and they took me in. Yeah, and then she had the IV contrast go through, which I feel at my throat a little bit. Then I really feel, and then you feel like you have to pee, and then they went through through my arms. I remember that last time, and I remembered thinking that I don't remember it the times before, but it may have happened. I just didn't pay attention. But again, it went through all the way through the hands and through the pinky fingers, because you got to have your hands above your head. And I'm like, oh, I could feel it all on my arm and to the outside of it. I'm like, ugh. And it only lasts like a minute though, because I figured then they do another scan, and that one you have to hold your breath for 15 seconds. And I guess that's more the chest part. And then they wait about 15 seconds, and then they do another scan of the abdomen, and that one's 20 seconds if you have to hold your breath. And by that point, then the feeling is gone. So that's nice that that's out of there. But now she said too, drink lots of fluids to flush all this dye out of your system. I figured that's what I'll be doing next. I'll go home and have some tea and stuff like that. I'll have some flavored stuff, not just plain water. But yeah, sunny day, a little cool, but I don't need the heavy coat at this point. Again, I was a little cooler this morning. I was fine, but now I'm warm. So I'll get my walk in on that too, get my sunshine, vitamin D. Like I said, hopefully get some exercise in too, and we'll just get all this contrast out of the body. But now the CT scan done, now I have the appointment with the doctor next Wednesday to go over the results, which again might show up in Live Well beforehand. I just have to remember to try to go and look at it, because I forgot to look at my blood work results, which I'll still do just because I'm curious, again, where my white blood cell count and red blood cell counts are, and the other numbers, see where I'm at. So I will check that out. But in any case, I'm going to go enjoy this day for now. Happy Wednesday. We shall see how long I can record. Because when I first came out of the house, it was really windy. But oh yeah, I saw on the weather report, the news channel, I just glanced at the weather report, and it said it was supposed to be windy this afternoon. Thought I beat that, but I guess not. The wind has picked up. But in any case, yeah, so yesterday was my CT scan. It's been an interesting week. You go as scans go when you think about you got a scan coming up, and it makes you have other thoughts. It's a matter of, I'm just going about living my life and, doing regular things. And then it's like, oh, I have a scan coming up. Yeah, because there's this thing that's going on in my body. That, I'd had the cancer. And so they got to keep checking me out, make sure I'm okay. And it just kind of throws you for a loop, makes you think. Yeah, not that it's, not mortality. But it's another thing of, okay, well, the scan's there, kind of makes you a little nervous. And then even going to bed, it was like the night before, you think again, I was like a little nervous. I'll think about, even though I know, okay, everything's going to be fine, everything's okay. But it's like, but I still have to go through this. I have to go through the procedure. And it's not just life as usual like it used to be. Even though I have a bag, it's kind of like, I've had it long enough now that that's kind of still life as usual. Not right now, it's life is normal. This is what I'm doing. But then it's like, well, there's a scan, which means, oh yeah, there's this thing that has to be checked out. So that was okay. This scan went all okay, as I said. That went fine. And then even still, last night going to bed, it was still kind of like, I had the scan, and now I have to wait for results. Oh, there's the wind. So yeah, it's, weeks worth of waiting, and again, I'm just assuming everything is okay, just because of it hadn't spread in the first place, and they did get all the margins, and so I should be fine. But then it dawned on me, this is for the rest of my life. Once you have cancer, I suppose, once you have probably any other of the, I guess, what do you call them? Diseases, afflictions. If you have IBS, if you have fibromyalgia, all that type of stuff, I suppose, too, is really for life. It's not like, I guess you think it would go away. You can try, you can do stuff. Maybe you can get it to go away. But with this, it's like, okay, well, it's a thing that always is. I'm always going to be in remission. It's going to be 5 years in remission, and then 12 years in remission, and then 15 years in remission, and then 50 years in remission. 40. I got another 40 to go. That's what I'm planning on. But it's funny that it's going to be that. So, just another one of those, thoughts as you go through life, something that strikes me of, oh, this is the thing. So, yeah, it's just kind of, not melancholy, but I guess it's going to be, a thing again until I get the results, have my appointment, and then find out when my next scan is. Because even though, God, I feel like, it's always so funny. It feels like it's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've had my surgery, and I've been, I'm in remission and that, but I'm like, but yet I'm not at that 5 years. I'm not even at 2 years yet. December will be 2 years. So I guess that's part of it. I'm doing well. I'm feeling well. I'm out here walking. I'm exercising. I'm being able to move, and yeah, right? That was birds telling me. So it's just been an interesting couple days. That's all. Thinking about scans, thinking about life, about how it's gonna go. But again, also having, like I said, that feeling of, yeah, I'm gonna live forever. Well, not forever. I'm gonna live a long time. I got lots to do. I've got to be here in this earth and be here for others, spread my light and love, and help as many as I can. So, anyways, those are my thoughts. I'm going to enjoy this walk, this beautiful weather, and make it another day. What day is today? Thursday. Happy Thursday. Oh yeah. Even though I do take a daily walk, It's kind of like today I just finished up making some lemon poppy seed muffins. So some days when I do the cooking, and if it's running later, then I may or may not get a walk-in. It's also nice that now that, spring is here and it stays lighter longer, and it is nicer and warmer out now that it's nicer to take a walk when it does get later. Otherwise, sometimes I'm just kind of like, forget it, I'm just going to sit. And or even if I feel like, I haven't caught up on different computer things, then I'll just sit. But I'm feeling a little so I thought, okay, let's get out, get a walk, get some fresh air. Hopefully it'll lift my mood. Because again, it is just this week. Got a text on the phone reminding me of my doctor's appointment, and I'm like, oh yeah, I know that. I've got my doctor's appointment next week, so I guess I could go check in because it's a week before. It's Thursday, right? My appointment's Wednesday. And I actually read the message just for the heck of it. Good thing I did. My appointment's on Monday. I would have figured it out anyways because it's on my calendar. I would have looked. But it's kind of like, it's on Monday, so hopefully my test results will be back by then. Because last week I think it actually took like 9 days before my results were in. And so this is even going to be short of a week. Of course, get the weekend in there, so whether it's business days or not, but hopefully it'll all be okay. But yeah, I don't know. The emotions are, just kind of there. It's kind of like on the I'm on the having the emotions. I'm sure it's just that. Again, it's just in the back of my mind. I'm not constantly thinking of it, but it's there. So until the doctor's appointment is done and I get the results, then I will probably forget about it again. Get back to regular life. But I was putting on my makeup for doing my video, and all of a sudden tears started kind of flowing. Hi, duck. I forgot to look. There's another duck. There you go. You guys really could just stay up there. It's okay. I'm over here. Anyways, I was putting on my makeup and the tears started welling up. I'm like, oh, come on. Like, you can't do this. Can't be crying when I put my base on. That doesn't work, having the tears and then trying to put the base on or the eyeshadow. And my little brush gets full of, gets a little wet from the tears. I'm like, no. I got a video to do. We gotta get through this. Can't cry during those videos. Can cry during these videos. That's okay, but don't want to be crying during a cooking video. But anyways, so I made it through that, and then of course I'm starting my walk. And then what's the song in my head? Because I always have a song in my head. I don't know if you're that way or not, but I always have a song in my head. And of course this one is again the one that I had heard in the car. Everything is all about you. And I'm like, okay, got it. Got the, okay, now brain, I'm like, please play a different song. The brain has not gotten the message yet though. It's still, that song's still in there. I was like, I listened to some other songs this morning. You could pick any one of those other ones. Let's play a different one, please. But anyways, getting out here, enjoying the weather, the sunshine. It was only like 53. I'm like, oh, can I wear my lighter coat or not? And I can. This is fine. I'm warm enough. So I'm happy about that. It's not too cold. So I am going to finish enjoying the sunshine and the weather and the birds and see how the rest of the day goes. There you are. Hello, pretty cardinal. Where are you? Cardinal singing his pretty song. Happy Friday. It's Friday. Oh yeah. So when Wayne came up and said goodbye to me in the morning before he left for work, he told me that the internet was out. So thank goodness it happened just as he finished his work reports. So he was able to get those done. But mostly done, I suppose. He did say he had to put a jump drive in there or whatever and copy some stuff so he could upload it at work and finish it. But In any case, then by the time I got up, and he had a message in there saying that Spectrum said that they would have it finished by, fixed by 10 a.m. And I was like, alright, cool. Like, I've got things to do without the computer. Can't make my good morning post and all that, but 10 o'clock, that's sometimes my norm too. That's when I get my good morning out there. But that came and went, and then Wayne texted that, well, now they're saying noon it's going to be fixed. It's just about noon now, but I see another, is that a cardinal? Is that a robin? It's brightly colored, so I can't tell if it's the orange bill. Oh no, that's a cardinal. There he goes. Flying off. I love seeing all the birds. But anyways, so I figured, well, you know what? I will read my book. I'm reading one of the books that he got for Christmas. I started it. I was 8 chapters in. It's a good book. But I keep just not taking the time to read it. So every day I'm like, I should read a chapter. I should read a chapter. And then the end of the night comes and I'm like, oh, shoot, I was busy doing other things and I haven't read a chapter. So, thought, well, I could do that. So I did. Made my breakfast and read 6 chapters. And while I was doing that, the phone rang and kind of looked like the doctor's office number, but I'm like, okay, I was just there at that office for my CT scan, and I'm like, okay, I have a dermatology appointment, but that's not till August, so why would they be calling? Well, sure enough, they left a message and said that it was dermatology, and my doctor just informed them that she will not be in the office the day of my appointment, and so I need to reschedule. So I'm like, oh, all right, well, I'm all nice and comfy on the couch right now. I'm not gonna, I gotta get up and get to my calendar at the desk. So after a little while I got up and did that, got it rescheduled very nicely. They got me in, so my appointment was on a Thursday, they got me in the following Monday. So that's very nice. It was only a couple days later because I know a lot of doctors' offices are busy these days, but especially dermatology, it's usually like, it takes 3 months that you can't get in. Woof. You can't get in to see him for 3 months, so I thought, jeepers, if my appointment's going to be bumped another 1 to 3 months, so be it. I mean, it's just an annual appointment. It's, nothing that big, but that went okay. So that's good. The only other thing is that I kind of still have a headache. I got a headache like, I don't know, by dinner time yesterday or so. Little headache just in the back of the head, just slight, just enough to let you know it's there. So I was kind of like, do I take Tylenol? Do it? I'm like, I'm going to bed. I'll sleep it off. And I did. And this morning I woke up and I'm like, oh, it's still there. So just kind of feeling blah. So I thought I'd record another video today too. Got a couple of them that I've thought of that I was going to make. Got some notes on. And I'm like, I don't have the energy. Like, maybe I'll just go over the notes and see what I have and kind of get the idea in my head again, and then next week I will make those videos. I do have one scheduled for today, but I didn't completely finish it off. I mean, it's uploaded to YouTube and the checks, it all came out okay, which is good. I just have to click a couple more buttons. I think I have to do my end screen. In reality, I think that was at that, and I was going to schedule it for noon, but we'll see if the internet's back on by the time I get home or whatever. When the internet comes on, then I'll get it all up and all published. So that's about it. Just kind of, again, blah. Just feeling melancholy and blah this week. I think it could all just still be due to the whole CT scan of things, thoughts in the head. I got the doctor's appointment on Monday. I think I thought it was on Wednesday, but it's on Monday. And so I figured too, I'll check level. I still haven't even checked my blood results. I thought of that last night too, and then again, shut off the computer, and I was like, shoot, didn't check. I even gone into my email and checked some things, and I'm like, oh yeah, it does. I do have an email that says, hey, your test results are up. So we'll do that. All those things take energy. I'm still low energy right now. I'll go home and read a couple more chapters of my book. Try to get that done. I have a puzzle to build too, which I also got like last Christmas. I haven't started that yet either. In fact, I maybe probably if I got it even a Christmas ago, like 2 Christmas, like not this last Christmas. I don't remember now. In any case, it's still sitting there saying, "Hey, build me." That's another one of those things that's kind of like, well, if I build it and get it done, then I can give it to the library or something, that get that out of the house. But I want to build it because I love building puzzles. So, also lots of things on the list. I have lots to do without the internet. I was going to finish pulling weeds in the garden pretty much every day as I take my walk here. Usually I pick up sticks along my way and just get some squats in. And then when I get to my place, then I spend 5 minutes or so on my garden and pull out a bunch of the weeds and do, like 3 squats there or whatever too. Then it's kind of like, okay, I'm tired. That's enough. And, but at least it's something. I think I heard that, I think it was the author that I follow, Lindsay Pogue, I think she was saying in her podcast one of the times about either her mom, her grandma, one of the relatives, the older relatives, that was her thing. Like every day she would spend like 15 minutes or half an hour or something out in the garden. And that was it. She had her little like 5-pail bucket type of thing, and she'd go out and she would weed and she'd be done. So 1, she got outside time in, and 2, she did some gardening. And so I kind of think of that. I'm like, that's a good idea. I just spend a couple minutes every day and do a little bit, then hopefully the weeds will be kind of all out and I'll keep up with them. And it won't look overtaken or anything. It'll be okay. But in any case, 60 degrees today, sunny, beautiful. I thought it was supposed to be cooler. It was a little cooler in the house, so I thought, maybe it was only going to be like 30 or 40. I did say 40. They did say we're supposed to maybe have a freeze tonight, so that was it too. Being cooler in the house, I thought it was going to be cooler outside because we might get a freeze tonight. So, I don't have anything planted. I'll still say, if you have anything planted, cover it up. We'll work on that. It's Mother's Day weekend, so start thinking about getting some plants and everything and get things planted. Thought about seeds and throwing seeds in the garden, but then again it's like, well, okay, the squirrel's already been digging up, but if I put seeds in there and he's just gonna dig up the seeds, that won't really work so much. I need some actual plants that I can plant in there and then check out and make sure how it's doing. Tweet, tweet. You two talking to each other? Yeah. A couple birds on the little branches there. Oh, there they go. They're flying off. But that's it for today. I hope you guys are doing well. I will check in again on Monday after my doctor's appointment. I will finish this video off then with those results. And have another CT scan in the books. So for now, go enjoy the beautiful day and go read some more. There's one of the areas that I've cleaned out already. So all the weeds that are in between all my flowers. And then I cleaned out a little area over here. But I want to get my gardening tennis shoes on so I can step in the garden and get back to the further areas. Haven't checked the garden since we took all those roots out. I haven't been back here even to play around some more to get some more of the roots out, but I can see that the squirrel has been enjoying it. We've got all kinds of little dog holes. Oh, goodness gracious. Well, I was thinking about planting seeds back here, but unless I put some caging around it, they might just get all dug up. It is Friday night. I remembered to go check out my blood work results, and in doing so, I saw that my test results were in there for my CT scan, and everything is unremarkable again. Ooh, so exciting. I kind of figured that it would be, but you never know. So until you actually look at the results, it's kind of like, ooh, the results are there. Okay, start reading, and then I just kind of like glance through stuff and don't read a lot of the big words and just look at them like, okay, unremarkable. Hasn't changed, because there's some tiny little spots in my lungs, I think it was, that they're like they They haven't changed. They think they're cysts or something. There's some 7mm spot on my kidney or something that hasn't changed, but just keep watching. But yeah, everything else is good. So, yay. But still have the appointment on Monday then with my doctor, my oncologist, and we'll see what the next step is. So again, I'm assuming blood work in 3 months and then scan in 6 months. So that would be nice. Other than that, blood work wise, red blood cells, white blood cells, and the albumin are still low. So I don't know why. I don't get it. I'm like, okay, everything's back to normal. I'm not losing any blood. I don't understand why the red blood cell count hasn't gone up. I'm healthy. I feel good. I don't feel tired. So albumin, I think I looked up and it said that's kind of tells you the health of the liver. And one of the other ones was the kidney, the globulin. So I think it's the albumin / globulin numbers go together. So it was the AG ratio, but the albumin is low. The potassium is good, so that was good. But I'll look into some of that other stuff and see if there's anything I can do diet-wise to help raise those things up, or what's going on. But I feel healthy, so yay, peace of mind. New suet brick put out.
That isn't scaring them?
Yeah, no, it's doing all right. They're hungry.
I guess.
They're eating. They're like, woo, new food. It's taking turns. Very nice. Happy Monday. It is 11:15. Time for my oncology appointment. Brought my calendar today because I had some notes to bring with. Thought, oh yeah, I want to ask a couple questions. Let me put that down. And then I remembered last night at bedtime about my colonoscopy. I wanted to ask him about that, but I'm going to need another one because the one that I got from the GI doctor said 5 years, but then in my chart it actually says 3 years. So I'll clarify that. Other than that, look at me, no coat. It's 65 degrees, sunny, beautiful. Doctor's appointment is finished. Woohoo! Oh, the sunshine, it feels so good. He's so beautiful. But anyways, everything's good. Woohoo! As I expected. He's not worried about my red blood cell and white blood cell count. I kind of asked that at the end, and he had to go back in my record to actually even look. He goes, yeah. He goes, I'm not worried. Didn't even think about anything. Didn't trigger anything for him that he even thought about it. So when I asked, he went back in and looked, and he was like, well, yeah, you're 3.9 for, I think, red blood cells. He goes, 4.0 is normal, and then for white blood cells, I'm 3.7, and 4.2 is normal. And he's like, it's good enough. He goes, you have lots of components that make up the, well, at least the white blood cells, probably red blood cells too. He's like, so he goes, yeah, you're good. So I'm like, yay. Even he brought up colonoscopy, which is nice because that was one of the other questions that I had. In that the record said 3 years for the next colonoscopy. Whew, let the hot air out of the car before I get in. So I asked about that. I said, yeah, in fact, I brought the letter. I found it. I said I got a letter from the actual clinic that said that he wanted it in 5 years. I said, but then in my record online, it says 3 years. And he said, well, you could ask the doctor, you know, about it, what they think, is like if he even remembers at this point in time. And I'm like, well, yeah, no. He's like, 3 years. 3 years is good. I said, okay, even though they found 2 polyps. And he's like, yeah, I'm comfortable with 3 years. He was, unless, you know, anything else happens. Do you have any other symptoms or anything? And all that. I'm like, okay, sounds good to me. So that's that. And then obviously he says, yeah, your scan results were all good. He goes, your, whatever is the CEA number. He's like, you know, under 2, whatever. He's like, it's all good. So yeah, he was happy with everything that was going on. So he goes, so blood work in 3 months and another CT scan in 6. And I'm like, all right, that's what I kind of expected. He goes, yeah, it's pretty much kind of what it's gonna be for a while. And then he goes, and then as far as your port, he goes, you can have that out if you'd like. And I'm like, oh, and he goes, oh, you want it out? And I'm like, I'm fine with it in. I always kind of one of Wayne's questions of, hey, when can the port come out? Because they said that for a while ago, and I'm like, yeah, but you know what? They can still access it for the blood work. They can still access it for the CT scan. So because of that, I'm like, I'll leave it in. It's not bothering me. So if I were, feeling the pinchy pains and all that, I mean, yeah, once in a great while I feel a little something, but you know what? It's good. So I have blood work in 3 months, so that'll be August, and then in November is the next CT scan, so I'll have more blood work. And these guys here said that I can have blood work same day, because again, I have it done in their office. They get the blood work done right away, because that's what they do. They could do the blood work usually the same day as you would have a chemo appointment, and so they want to make sure they check your numbers and stuff, and then give you your blood work. That's why sometimes they check, I had potassium, my potassium level was low or something. I had to have a vitamin while I was here. So they check stuff like that. But seeing as they think I could just have blood work the same day as my scan, she's like, unless you think you're having, you're going to have some troubles that, the kidneys won't be able to handle it or something. And I said, no, I don't, everything should be fine. And she's like, yeah, then you can do it the same day. I'm like, cool, then I'll only get stuck once. So I'll come here at 8 in the morning and get the blood work done, and then I'll just have them tape down the port and everything, and then I'm going to go to a different clinic and still get my CT scan done. I guess they can do the CT scan right here. So they said too, like, well, yeah, it'll be right here. And I'm like, well, I go to a different clinic, and I like the other clinic. I like how they do stuff. I like those people. And they said I've had that same gal for, my 3 scans. So I'm like, I'll just go to that clinic again, and so again, they can just tape everything all down, and then I'll go to that clinic and have them use the port for the CT contrast, get that done, and then she can just take the needle out and everything, and I'll be done. So that way, for sure, I'm only getting stuck once, in 3 days. Because I figured otherwise I would come on Monday. I have something going on Tuesday. I have another appointment. I think a teeth cleaning or something. And then Wednesday, I will have the CT scan. But this way, it's like, all right, I will just come here. I don't have to do the Monday thing then. I can just come here on Wednesday, get the port done, and then go get the CT scan done and be done with all that. So that'll be good. So that's where we're at. That's the CT scan story for this time. Whoa, I like that. It can stay this way. We'll just keep these scans nice and boring and everything going well. So in that case, that's a safety truck. I'm like, oh, the car's still coming looking for parking. There's lots of parking now. When I first got here, the lot was pretty full. But again, it's probably also getting near lunchtime. Although my next appointment's at noon, which I was kind of surprised about too, that for the doctor, that I'm going to have a noon appointment. I'm like, oh, it's kind of near lunchtime. I think he would want to take a break. But that's okay. Yeah, he was running a little bit late today, but again, I didn't feel rushed or anything. Everything was good. So hopefully that noon appointment, I usually prefer them earlier, but same. Make these type of appointments a little bit later. They need to see the other people earlier to get them started on their chemo infusions and all that. So these appointments where it's just a checkup is a little bit later in the day. So anyways, I've already had breakfast, which is wonderful, but I'm going to go get my walk in. I haven't exercised yet today. I'm kind of missing it because I didn't exercise yesterday, and same, I'm going to keep exercising. My weight is up. Good and the bad. Again, I'd rather have it this way than not. Mentioned that to Dr. Paluski too. He said, yeah, the weight's up a little bit because he's like, how you feeling? How's everything going? Feeling good? He's like, yeah, output is good, all that. Yep. I'm like, is there no pains anywhere? Nope. Just my weight's a little up. He goes, well, you could have stood to gain a little bit of weight from where we were at. I'm like thinking, yeah, well, I was at 120 back then. I'm like, I'm up to like 170 now. So like, that's gotta stop. That's as high as I was again before everything all started. That was my top. So that's where I'm at. It's got to go down a little bit again. But it's okay. I'm healthy. I'm good. Life is good. I hope you guys are enjoying your lives. Get out there. Sun is coming. Summer, at least for the northern hemisphere. We got some good weather. Get outside, enjoy some of it. Oh, the flight out. Okay, it's not a bee. Stay out of my car. Enjoy the weather. Enjoy yourselves. Do something that makes you happy. And you guys, keep it positive. Go make it a great day. Bye-bye.